Hello, everybody. Welcome to the BEX Flex. And thank you to all of you who have remained subscribers. I've lost quite a lot of subscribers since I put out my first flex, asking why we need a chakra system. Now, I expect that a lot of those people found it offensive, what I said, probably about Reiki and these courses. So I just want to stress that I know loads of amazing Reiki healers, but I don't believe they're amazing Reiki healers. I just think they're amazing healers, and they happen to have been caught in the umbrella of Reiki. I believe those people would have healing abilities anyway. So I wonder how much of people needing these certificates and these courses is really to do with confidence in what they're doing. And I do understand that that can be an issue. When I started healing when I was 29, it took me years and years before I could have someone come around for a healing and not feel nervous before they got there, thinking, well, what if nothing happens? What if I sit down and close my eyes and nothing comes in? What if I don't get any instructions what to do while I'm with them? What happens then? And of course, that didn't ever happen. But it took years for me to get to a point of trusting and knowing that that was not going to happen. That every time somebody came for healing and help, when they were with me, the instructions came in and I knew what to do. So for those of you that have stayed, well done. This is obviously calling out the new age is not going to be popular. It's a huge movement, and as I'll talk more into, it's a movement of spiritual bypassing, and it plays on the ego. And so yes, I get that what I'm saying is not going to be popular, but it's more important to talk about what's really going on than worry about whether you're popular or not. Today I wanted to talk about how we've been deceived and why we've been deceived. I'm not in any great depth, but I'm just going to give you one example of what I'm talking about. Now, those of you who do follow me and Tash on Patreon will know that we've done a lot of really interesting research recently. But I'm a wordy bird. My degree is in language and words, and I do a lot of writing. So it figures that I get interested in language and words and the etymology. I use etymology a lot when I'm researching to find the true meaning of words, especially because there's so much trickery in words in this realm. So I think it's become a little bit of a habit of mine. Anyway, those of you on my Patreon will remember a couple of months ago I read out the Lord's Prayer, and I did not read the Lord's Prayer in the translation that we have now. I read the original words that came out of the man who was called Jesus, came out of his mouth on that day, apparently, on I think it was the Sermon on the Mount, wasn't it? Was it? I think so. Can't remember. I haven't looked it up, but from what I remember, he was talking to many, many people on that day, and he gave the people these words. Now, Jesus at the time that he was around would have been speaking Aramaic. So the translation that I'm going to read to you in a minute is the direct translation from Aramaic into English. Now, before I read that translation, I'm going to read to you the original, what we have. I'm going to read to you what you will find if you look up the Lord's Prayer. If you turn to any Christian Bible, go into any church, this is the prayer you will hear. Okay, so this is the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. So that's the standard prayer that we have. It's very clear. Our Father is a male God who art in heaven. You know, you're up there, you're not with us here. Hallowed be thy name. Hallowed means holy. So that first line says, our Father who's up there, your name is holy. And then the next premise, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So in other words, we will manifest your kingdom here. As it is for you up there, we will bring it down here. Your will be done down here. Give us this day our daily bread. Fairly simple. Give us what we need today. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So there's the sinner that the Christian religion kind of promotes, you know, forgive us. So we forgive others. And then lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Fairly self-explanatory. For thine is the kingdom. So this is the Lord's kingdom, the power and the glory. It's all his. Yeah. That male God sitting up there forever and ever. Amen. So let's look at this now. So that is the translation that we have. So just to explain, that translation went from Aramaic, which is what Jesus spoke, and was first translated into Greek, I think by the school of Tiberius, not sure. And then it was taken from the Greek and it was translated into the Latin by the Vatican, by the Roman Catholic Church. And then eventually, it was put into English by King James. And I'm sure everybody has heard of the King James Bible. So before that, which was only a few hundred years ago, there was no English Bible. It would have been Greek or Latin. So here's the direct translation of that prayer from Aramaic straight into English. See the difference. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desire. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth, the power and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. So my thoughts on first reading that some time ago was just how the translation that is rammed down our throats is our Father, when the original is, O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration. Now, cosmic birther, to me, a birther doesn't sound very male. It feels much more female to me. And that soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. You know, soften the ground of our being, soften, open, yield. Again, very, very female traits. Fill us with your creativity so we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Yeah, we're creative beings, humans. We're creative. And we are the creatrix here, which the Matrix has to try and control, basically, so that we create what they want us to create and not create what we want to create in accordance with our desires. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. How beautiful is that? You know, knowing how to produce and share what everyone needs to grow and flourish. Beautiful. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. I really feel that that is cause and effect, or karma, if you want to call it that, and particularly ancestral karma, perhaps. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose. Oh, what does the Matrix do? It distracts and diverts us all the time. But illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. Yeah, let us see, let's live. That's mindfulness. That's living in the moment. That's mindfulness. For you are the ground. I'm always banging on about earthing. Stay connected to the great mother beneath your feet. And you are the fruitful vision of the birth, power, and the fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. There is no separation. Everything's being gathered and made whole again. But whoever Jesus was praying to is the ground, the fruitful vision, the birth. The birth, again, it's not a particularly our Father type, Lord type person being addressed here. It seems to me that it's far more of a feminine energy. It's talking about the realm beneath our feet, Mother Earth. And that is where these words are being offered to, not to some male god sat upstairs on his throne, calling us all sinners. I love the fact as well, with the direct translation, there is no, you know, you're trespassers, you're sinners, you're not worthy. Because the whole Christian ethos is sort of underpinned with, you need saving. There's something wrong with you and you need saving. Look, all the animals have decided, I don't know if you can see them, but I've got a small dog and a small cat wandering around. So yeah, that's what I wanted to give to you today, was those two different prayers, the same prayer, just different translations, because it demonstrates how easy it has been over the centuries, over translations, to completely distort and skew words and give them completely different meanings. The Lord's Prayer is, I believe, a prayer to the Anunnaki, to the Archons, to the invaders, to those that came here many thousands of years ago, messed around with humanity and have enslaved us, and that they still rule over us right now in form of governments and entertainment and sports celebs. So I believe that, yes, you're praying to the wrong side if you are using those words. So the cat's hassling me to go out now, so I'm gonna leave it there. But I just want you to know that if that's been done with the Lord's Prayer, imagine what's been done with the Bible. I'm researching that at the moment for my Patreons. And bear in mind how much is lost in translation. And that is why I don't trust very much from out there. I trust what I get from in here, because anything that's been written by man, for man, will have been corrupted, unfortunately. So I don't believe there is anything which has not been tainted. And that is a very good example of how things get lost in translation. Have a good week.